I'm going to be talking about something that's really been making me mad. Okay, stop calling them gauges. There's no such thing as gauging your ears. There's no such thing as wearing gauges. That would be tunnels, plugs, or whatever kind of jewelry you have in your ear. I'm just saying ear, but there's a lot of other places you can stretch. The ears are just the most common, but they're not called gauges. There's no such thing as gauging your ears, re-gauging your ears. There's no such thing. That would be stretching or re-stretching if you let yours close up or whatever. There's no such thing as gauging. The correct time to use the word gauge is when you're referring to the size. And when you go to buy new plugs or tunnels, there's going to be the size, and then next to it there's a G. G stands for gauge, because that would be the size. This is a size 6, a size 6 gauge, but they're not called gauges. This is a size 6 gauge. This is 7/16, 7/16 of an inch. You can wear whatever plugs, tunnels, there's all different kinds, but they're not called gauges. That's just the size. You don't say, how big are your gauges? That makes no sense. You say, how big are your plugs, tunnels? And they'll say oh, size, whatever. But they're not called gauges. Another thing is, don't wear tapers around as jewelry. They are used for stretching until, just put it through until you can get your plug in. They're not used for jewelry. This is a taper. This especially makes me mad to see people wearing fake tapers for regular size earring holes. You may as well just go now, because you don't wear fake tapers, and they're especially not used as jewelry. If you're not going to stretch, then don't even bother putting them in, because you just look dumb. And don't try to make a legitimate argument with somebody who has not been a noob for body modifications for a long time. Don't try to make a legitimate argument with me that what I have in my ears are gauges. Don't try to make a legitimate argument with anybody that clearly knows that they aren't called gauges. If you make the mistake once or twice, it's not a big deal, nobody's going to kill you. But if you do try to sit there and make a huge argument with somebody that they're called the same thing, they might just punch you in the throat. In all seriousness, they might punch you in the throat. I can't stress this enough, seriously. They're not called gauges. They're called plugs or tunnels. Everyone knows what you mean when you say, yeah, they're gauges. It's yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I know what you mean, and you also sound stupid. Don't call them gauges. They're not called gauges. Use the correct term. That's all I gotta say.